don't know how, like what angle I need to get all of my books here. Look at that. Look at that. You could see that I went absolutely feral for Love Theoretically. Over time, I slowly calmed down. Growth, but also I started underlining things. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Brooklyn and I do a plethora of videos on my channel. Today, you've clicked on a book video and it's a very exciting video because I'm going to be tier ranking all of the books that I've read in 2023. So as you can see back here, my tower of books, this isn't even all of them. We're very far into January. It is January 21st, and usually these videos come out beginning of January. You know, I have been very busy. I'm busy boots. I'm a student athlete. If you do not know, this is your first video. I play at the University of Hawai'i and I play basketball here, so my January's been very busy. We started season and Christmas and all that stuff. I wanted to film this video regardless of when it's posted. This could be posted at any point in the year and I'm still going to upload it. My goal this year on Goodreads was to read 25 books and I surpassed that. I read 33 books. This year for me in terms of reading was so good. All of these books back here are amazing and some of them I wish I read sooner. Specifically the one at the bottom, if you know what that is, if you can see from all the way back there. Really started reading June and onward. The summer was when I had the most time because it's like when workouts and stuff are like the lightest. I was reading like 6 to 8 books per month in like the June, July, August section. So that really picked up the amount of books that I had. I actually decided that this year for my Goodreads challenge, I'm going to be reading 50 books. We might be aiming very high. I have a lot of books that I want to read this year and I think I can hit 50. It's just a matter of when. My Goodreads already is telling me that I'm behind books. That's fantastic. We are going to go over all the books that I've read in 2023. I have this tier list that I've made. I'm going to start my screen recording. Okay, it's my little tier ranking thing that I've made. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've seen a lot of YouTube creators do this and I thought, how fun. These are the categories that we have. Bury Me with These Books, which is basically 6 stars and up, will always have a special place in my heart. Solid 5-star, and then it was good, like the 3 stars, 4 stars. Meh, not for me, but maybe for you. Maybe it was like really popular, but I didn't like it and I don't have the personality to DNF. Maybe this year I will, but in my heart I can't DNF a book because I want to see it through. You know, like I want to see if it's good at the end. Maybe the ending's worth it, maybe it's not and I've wasted my time, and there's some books on here that I definitely feel like I did, but I just cannot DNF a book. I don't think I ever will. I've ordered them in the order starting from Verity all the way down to Fourth Wing. Verity was the first book that I read this year, Fourth Wing being the last. I'm gonna tell you guys what I rated them and then if I feel the same way now, and if I don't, yada yada yada. These books, pretty popular books this year, not a bad selection at all. Starting off with Verity, I am gonna say will always have a special place in my heart because I like cried reading this book. I've never cried reading a book. I think it was because it was so scary, and I was listening to Beach Baby by Bon Iver. I don't know why that was the playlist that I was on, but I also really love listening to music while I read. If you can read while listening to music, please do it. It enhances the experience so much more. I cried during Verity because of the music, I think. And the part was just so sick and chilling that it stuck with me forever. I rated Verity a 4-star, and I think I'm gonna hold true to that one. Kind of was on a Colleen Hoover kick in the beginning of the year because then I read Maybe Someday after Verity and I rated this a 3-star. I'm gonna say meh. I'm not gonna spoil it. I just didn't really connect with this one. I thought it was very slow, and I also bought the second book and I kind of regret it. I'm just gonna put it as meh. Not for me, but it could be for you. It's not a terrible book. I would still recommend maybe reading it, but it wouldn't be one that's on like a higher list of suggestions from me. Next up, we have Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and this one I was very excited to read. I remember my cover was falling apart. I got it at Target and the cover was absolutely falling apart. I rated it a 4-star. I'm just gonna say it was good. Like it served its purpose. The storyline was interesting. I think Colleen Hoover always has like very fast-paced, interesting books. That's why I've read 3 of them at the beginning of the year. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't great, but I would maybe suggest it. I don't know. Colleen Hoover books are kind of like you start with them and then once you get into reading you never go back to them, and that's kind of where I'm at. Not saying that I'm above them, but I'm over them. Next, I read Normal People and I rated it 3 stars. It was good because I love the TV series and I watched it first and then I read the book, and I think that's where I went wrong. I think if I flipped it around, I would have had a better appreciation for it. The way Sally Rooney, the way she writes is very confusing for me kind of because she didn't put like quotation marks around when the characters were speaking, and I don't know if that's like a normal thing, but from what I can remember, I'm pretty sure she didn't, and I was so confused on who was speaking the whole time. So I thought it was a good book, but not my favorite. We have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I'm gonna say will always have a special place in my heart. I'm actually gonna reread this year, 2024. I got the new covers and everything. I would say bury me with this book, but I remember the book, but I also don't. I just love it. I like remember the time and place that I was reading it, and I remember like the feeling I got from I remember buying it. The girl, when I checked out, she was like, oh, you're gonna love this book. And I was like looking at the cover, I was like, I'm so embarrassed by this cover. Like, it's so bad. It's a great book. I rated it a 5-star. Hockey romance is just, this is the hockey romance book in my opinion. So 100% recommend, read it. It will always have a special place in my heart. The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm a Hunger Games girly. I love Hunger Games. When this came out forever ago, didn't have the urge to read it. I didn't really understand what it was. And then I had money at this bookstore and it was $30. This took me forever to read, and I'm just gonna say it was good. It was. I rated it a 3 stars. It did take me forever. The ending was amazing. I love the ending. It just took a lot to get there. The movie was also really great, so love that. Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walker. Or Walther? Oh my gosh, I thought it was Walker. Have I been saying that wrong? K.L. Walther? No way. That's Mandela effect. I'm sorry. No way. I don't have the book with me. Summer of Broken Rules, I rated it a 5-star. I'm just gonna say will always have a special place in my heart. I think it is a solid 5-star. It's cute. It has like a good plot. I remember the characters. Like I remember bits and pieces of the story. I haven't completely forgotten about it. And I really enjoyed reading it, and like the time and the place and all the memories attached to it. The Midnight Library in this one I got because of how popular it was. And I don't know what to say. I think I'm gonna say I rated it a 3 stars. I'm gonna say meh, not for me, but maybe for you. I did love the book. Deep down I did. It was just one that I don't think I was in the mood to read at the time. And I think as I had so much hype behind it, I expected more from it. I didn't really understand what the story would be. It was good, it was so repetitive for me and I didn't really like that. So I'll move it to it was good, because I would suggest reading it. I think people should read it, and it gains kind of like a nice outlook of life. It was just really hard for me to get through. I remember dreading that book. Okay, next stuff, good player Chanel. I don't have the personality DNF. I got this book as a gift from a person from the past, and I read it, started tabbing it kind of, and it's just like one of those basketball books, tips and stuff, and I just felt like I had to read it just cause. I don't know how to describe it. I finished it though. I like really skimmed it, so I wouldn't, I mean, it was a good book. If you like basketball, sure. But I couldn't DNF it, and I really wanted to. I rated it at 2 stars, and that's being generous. Confess by Colleen Hoover. I had a massive amount of money at this bookstore that I was buying books at, and this was another book that I bought while being there because I have yet to enter these like Icebreaker, Love Hypothesis, like those type of books, so I was still stuck with Colleen Hoover. I gave this a 3 star, and I'm gonna say meh, not for me, but maybe for you. Her books just sort of got repetitive, and I really felt that with this book. I didn't really connect with anything. I thought some of the characters were really annoying and pissy. I think it was like her boyfriend, it was like the cop or something, or like I don't know who it was. He was just annoying. You might like it, but it was not personally for me. Next we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I am going to say I gave this a 4 star, and here's the thing, I really did like Icebreaker. I'm just gonna say we'll have a special place in my heart because this kickstarted my reading sprint in the summer. Like I remember ordering this because Target had like a buy one get 2 free, or was it buy one get 1 free? I think I bought Icebreaker and Love Hypothesis because my sister read Love Hypothesis and she's like, you have to read it, it's so good. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. Let me just read my hockey romance first. I'm gonna give it a 5 star. I'm gonna bump it up. I'm gonna say will always have a special place in my heart. Be like 5/4 stars, only because the ending of Icebreaker was so dragged on. The last 100 pages was so unnecessary. I felt like the whole plot was him being her partner as like when she's figure skating, and that was resolved so early in the book. That's like from what I remember, and then it just like, went into more drama. It was just so unnecessary at the end. So I don't know, it was just obviously one of those romance spicy books, and the plot really isn't much. Next we have The Love Hypothesis, and this will be our first bury me with these books. Bury me with this book is all I have to say. I love The Love Hypothesis. When I tell you I thought about this book for days after I finished it, I binged this book. I gave it like 5 star plus. This has a great playlist. Even on my Goodreads, I have my phone. I'm like, I'm being really active right now on all forms of media. Put this as a 10 out of 5. And I said, this playlist on Spotify is so good, perfect 5. I love this book. I've thought about it even now. I will never forget this book, even though my roommate just read it and she was like telling me all this stuff. She's like, oh my gosh, the part when they do this, or like when this happened, I'm like, I don't remember that. That never happened. I love Allie Hazelwood's writing and all of it. It's just such an easy book to read. I remember after I read The Love Hypothesis, I was like, well, what book am I gonna read next? I have no books. This is when my TBR was so small and it wasn't this bookshelf behind me of 40 books that I have now. And you know, I was like, Emily Henry, I've heard some things about her. She's a great writer. Her books are really good. Sure, I'll give book lovers a try. And you know, I'm just gonna say will always have a special place in my heart. Solid 5-star, that's what I've rated it. I forgot the guy's name in it, sue me. But I remember he was very attractive in the book, in my head. I don't know how to describe that, but I just love the romance in this. I thought the plot was interesting, and this really got me into loving Emily Henry's writing. I like how Emily Henry touched on more than just the romance. There's like subplots with like the main character and her sister and internal conflicts and whatnot. So I really love this book. Makes me have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm gonna say meh, not for me, but maybe for you. Only because there were parts of the book where I was like, I'm over this, and then parts in the book where I was like, I can't get enough of this. Like, I need to know more. The ending was kind of crazy, but it was one of those books where I shouldn't have to wait till the ending to actually enjoy it. I gave it a 4-star. So who's lying to who? Past me or present me? I think I probably would have rated like a 3.5 or 3.75. Next we have Love Theoretically by Allie Hazelwood, and we're just gonna plop this one right up here. Bury me with this book. Allie Hazelwood, 2 for 2. Can she do wrong? I don't know. I actually haven't read Check and Mate, and I've seen a lot of iffy responses to that book, so she could. But as of now, Allie Hazelwood slays. Allie Hazelwood slay. Love Theoretically. I have to show you. Like, this is insane. I was a tabbing fiend when I really got into reading. I wasn't annotating or underlining because I didn't want to write in the books, but now I don't care anymore. I care, but I freely underline and write stuff in my books. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed, but this man, where is he? Where's his name? He's somewhere on here. Jack. This man, when I tell you, like a step up from Adam in Love Hypothesis. I was freaking out. I think I've rated this beyond a 5-star. Her writing's amazing. I love, obviously the plot of the book's very similar to Love Hypothesis. I don't care. She can write 20 more of these books and I will read every single one of them and probably give them like a 20+ star. That's just how she rolls, and honestly, I'm with it. Any book that I have in Bury Me with these books in this little top category, let alone maybe will always have a special place in my heart, read them. Because I was on an Allie Hazelwood kick and I needed more of her books. I have Love on the Brain. I will say, I rated this a 4-star. I'm gonna say it was good. I think this was her first book, and then it was Love Hypothesis, and then Love Theoretically. And I think one thing that I remember mentioning is that I didn't think the characters were as developed as the previous 2 books. And this one was just kind of like, the ending was really wild. So it was kind of crazy, but I enjoyed it. Once again, I love Allie Hazelwood's writing. I love the way she writes men. Better than the movies, I love this book. So cute. Like everything I would have loved to have in high school. I'm just gonna say it will have a special place in my heart. I gave this a solid 5 stars. I love the ending, and I loved it so much that I just went right onto, it was like some website, I can't remember what it was called. It's called Better Than the Prom. I gave this also a 5-star, and I think it was Wes's point of view. I can't really remember, so I'm just gonna say it was good. You Are a Badass. Self-help books don't really fit into the categories that I've made, but I will say it was good. It was a solid self-help book. I feel like self-help books get very repetitive, but I really wanted to read this one because of how popular it was. And I gave it a 4-star. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Bury me with this book, please, and thank you. This book gets, I feel like, a lot of hype, naturally, as it would. I just have a personal connection to this book. I don't know why. I connect with it so much. I love this book. I love this trope. I love the characters. I love the then and now timelines. It's just perfect. Christina Lauren basically wrote the perfect book. I gave it like a 5+ stars. Yeah, I cried. It was a great book. It was a beautiful book. 1984 can actually go at the very bottom, moving right along. Hated that book. I had the audio version on my phone at the highest speed that it could possibly speak at, and it still wasn't fast enough. I hated this book. This is one that I really specifically made this bottom section for. Can you hear the passion in my voice when I speak about this? Twisted Love. Meh, not for me, but maybe for you. I still have yet to read all of the the rest of the books in the Twisted series. I'm going to this year. Specifically, the one where he's like the bodyguard. Twisted Love was just so out of left field for me. I was so confused. I said 3.5. I said this one started so strong. Everything just started happening right after the other. It had potential to be great. I feel like she tried too hard. She was like forcing this facade of like this like bad boy, like I'll kill you. Like it's a romance book. Who are you gonna kill? This is one where I really understand like why people get angry when they say it's like enemies to lovers in romance books, because you're not killing people. There's nothing at stake, unlike in fantasy books. He was just very painful to read. Iced Out. This was one on Amazon where Amazon had those freaking Prime Day deals, and I bought so many books. It was a hockey book. I'm sure I found it off of Instagram or some like book talk thing. I would say it was good. Because I wouldn't say it's not for me. I did enjoy it, but it was just such like a basic hockey romance. I was like, okay, deal who? Like, who you're trying to be, Garrett Graham? No. I gave it a 3-star. Yeah, it was like okay. It wasn't the best hockey romance that I've ever read, considering I've only read The Deal and Icebreaker. And they currently stand above it, so I guess that just says a lot. Where the Crawdads Sing, I'm gonna say it was good. I remember it kind of took me a while to read. I stood my ground with this book because when the movie came out, I was like, I am not gonna read, or I'm not gonna watch that movie until I read the book. Years ago this came out. I just read it this year, and then I also watched the movie right after. I think there's like 2 parts in the book, and I think the second part of the book was the most interesting to me because she was older, but then I saw something that said like the first half of the book was kind of hard to get into because it's from the perspective of her as a child. So yeah, overall I rated it a 4-star. Playing for Keeps. This was another hockey romance. I'm just gonna say it was good. It was. The cover's atrocious. I don't like those covers. I think they were like not college or high school. It was more like older. Gave it a 3 stars. Not the best hockey romance, obviously. I would say Iced Out would be better than Playing for Keeps, but I can't really remember if I'm being honest. Next up, we have The Bodyguard. Bury me with it. Fine. I'll put it up there. Why not? I rated this a 5-star. I said it was the easiest 5 stars I've ever given on my Goodreads review. Jack Stapleton. Gosh, I don't know. Why not? I easily distribute 5 stars for books. I'm not that picky of a rater. So why not bury me with this book? More the merrier. Love this book. I love Jack. I love the main female character. She was like badass. She's the bodyguard for Jack, who's like this big time celebrity. By a Thread by Lucy Score will have a special place in my heart. The ending really dragged on. That's all I can really remember about this book, but I did love like the angst of the man. It's a thick book. Took me a minute to read. Next up, we have Beach Read by Emily Henry. Bury me with this book, please. Okay, Gus. Like, Emily Henry knows how to write men. Same with Allie Hazelwood, like Christina Lauren. All these books up in the top row, these men in these books, I'm gonna sound insane. I'm literally sounding insane. I love them. Augustus Everett, just, he's an amazing book man. The things he said is so like poetic and beautiful and tugged at my heartstrings. I normally don't cry, and I know for a fact I did cry in this book. I love this book with my whole heart. I've been seeing more videos and stuff pop up about people saying that Emily Henry was writing this book as like a way to vent her emotions. So like it's kind of like loosely based off of how she was feeling, and you can like 100% feel her emotions in this book. I've heard people say that, and I 100% agree. Like, this book is amazing. It's beautiful. I gave it a plus 5 stars for sure. Powerless. Bury me with this book. Kai. I miss Kai. Like, the playlist for this book as well is so amazing. I love it so much. It made the book so much better as well. I basically read this twice. So I really read 34 books in the year of 2023 because I re-listened to this on Spotify because the voice actor for Kai is very fine. I don't make the rules, it's just how it goes. So after I read this, I immediately looked up when the next book is coming out, and it's not till like July, so I'm gonna cry about it later after this video is done. But it's gonna be a trilogy, and the bonus chapter in Powerless for the second book had me screaming, kicking my feet, freaking out. I love this book with my whole heart. I don't know what else to say about it. Bury me with it. I will recommend this till the day I die. I'm a romantasy reader at heart now. Fantasy is my thing. Fantasy all these books are like romance. Fantasy is my thing, and it's one, maybe 2. Okay. Lauren Roberts, you did a phenomenal job with this book. I love it, and I'm going to pre-order the Barnes & Noble's exclusive. The only downside is I have the paperback, and the one on Barnes is, I'm pretty sure, is a hardcover, so that will make me cry internally. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I would say I have a special place in my heart. This book kind of left me thinking about it afterwards, and I did some digging, and I know some people didn't really like how it ended or like the trope in it, and it's basically a Love in Other Words dupe, and buying it I thought I wouldn't care if it was that, but deep down I kind of did. I didn't like how similar it was to it, and I know how I just said Powerless is very similar to other books and I don't care, but this one specifically was literally like Love in Other Words. Was it good? Yes, but I did like the story and the characters and just their personalities and the romance, and honestly the trope at the end. Some people don't like it, but I thought it was good. I really did like this book. I gave it a 4-star, 4.75. Next we have 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I am heartless at some points in my life. I really wanted a book that would make me cry, and this book made me angry. It didn't make me sad or emotional. Some parts it did, and my body just like won't let me cry. Like it'll well up but nothing will drop, and that makes me angry. I just don't like the writing. I give this a 2-star. I know like a lot of people love it, but I just couldn't really get behind the whole, I didn't like the guy. I can't remember his name. I just thought it was very dragged out, and I also didn't like how she called her dad daddy. You're too old for that. Like, just, you're in high school. Very predictable. Next we have Collide, another hockey romance. Bury me with this book. I'm getting kind of generous with this top column, but I don't care. I think his name was Aiden in this book. Aiden is the perfect mixture of what you're looking for in a hockey player for a hockey romance. Summer was cool and insufferable too. They have a nice little dynamic. That's what I said. I think I'm also kind of in my like hockey vibes right now in terms of liking the actual sport in real life. I actually like love hockey now. So I really like this book. I thought the romance, the dynamic between the two was good. I like the girl character. She kind of slayed. Yeah, it was very easy to read. Pacing was great. I gave it a 5-star, and I'd recommend you read this if you're into hockey. Not that I'm saying that Collide is above The Deal. Now that I'm looking at this, I would put The Deal and Bury Me with this book. However, I'm going to reread it, and next year's video when I do the same tier ranking, The Deal will be in the top row, but Collide is very equal to The Deal, but The Deal will always be higher than any other hockey book that you ever read. If you haven't read The Deal and you don't like it, then reread it, reconsider, and put it in number 1. Out of all the hockey books I've read, it would go The Deal, then Collide. And then finally, I saved the best for last. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros will proudly go to the top line of Bury Me with this book. Zayden. When did this book come out? Let me do some research. May of 2023. What was Brooklyn doing in May of 2023? Not quite reading yet, but in a month she would be. And I had to live through seeing TikTok videos, YouTube videos, and I was like, I kind of want it, but like I'm not gonna get it because I have so many books on my TBR already. Like, past Brooklyn needs to shut up. Oh, it's fantasy. I don't really like reading fantasy. Shut up, Brooklyn. Like, when I tell you this book is my favorite thing ever, Ride or Die, 5+ stars, playlist, I'm still listening to it. I love Zayden. He wields shadows. Wielding shadows is hot. Someone had to say it. I love Zayden. Like, I don't know how to like not talk about this book forever. I'm currently still stuck on reading Iron Flame. I have about like 200 pages left. This book is so consuming. It is so addicting. Everything about it is perfect. I Want a Dragon. I went into it completely blind. I would 100% recommend that. I read the back and I was still confused. And this is hard for me because Powerless was like up there for me. I was like, oh my gosh, fantasy. Fantasy, I've never read fantasy. This is my first fantasy book, or really like romantasy book. Fourth Wing, on the bookshelf, waiting. It was just like, wait until you read me and then you'll say all that, oh, Kai this, Kai that. No, it's Zayden now. It's Zayden and then Kai. Anyways, I could go on about it. I have homework I have to do. I'm so sad. I actually might build my bookshelf. I got a bookshelf. And there's gonna be another video I'm gonna make about it. This is the final spread of all my books. I mean, in comparison to some other people, I've read a small amount, but 33 books for me is insane. Everything feels like it should be in its place. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me tier rank all the books that I've read in 2023. This year was really great for reading. I love it, and I'm excited for 2024. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.